This is the Dierya DK63. It is a 60% that has dedicated arrow keys, and it also has Bluetooth compatibility. I also want to give a shout out to Kemove for sending me this product for free. This will not affect the way that I feel about this keyboard though. The box includes the keyboard itself, angled, braided USB Type-C cable, some extra keycaps, and a wire keycap holder. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a dedicated 60% with arrow keys, but the way that they are implemented can be very weird for others, including myself. As you can see, the question mark key is placed at the very right instead of right next to shift. I've seen different keyboards using this exact same layout, such as the DK63, so this isn't really too uncommon. I would also like to say that this USB cable was really confusing to me, and I didn't know that it was reversible, so here's a video of me trying to reverse it, I guess. The switches in this keyboard are Longhua blacks. I was assuming these would just be some Otomu rebrandings, but from the research I've done, they're supposed to be Kale rebrandings. These switches feel pretty scratchy out of the box, but eventually I'll mod them in a future video. The stabilizers surprised me as they are pre-lubed out of the box. Shift, backspace, and enter are pretty decent, but the spacebar can still use some work. Take a listen. The Bluetooth functionality hasn't been a big issue for me as it has been with other people. I've watched some other reviews that trashed on the Bluetooth, and some Amazon reviews are really negative about it, but I never really experienced those issues that they had. There has been reports of the keyboard going to sleep really fast or barely connecting at all, but for me I didn't really notice that much. Outside of those issues, the only thing I can really mention is that there was a slight delay in my typing, but even then that didn't bother me very much. This keyboard feels pretty solid and barely flexes if I tried to bend it myself. I really do like the smaller footprint of the keyboard as I can literally fit this in my pocket. The low profile case makes this keyboard look really nice as well. The keycaps, however, aren't so great as they can easily pick up your fingerprints, and they also have this weird rubberish feeling, and I can't really explain that. However, they do get the job done. I think the font is very gamery, but it does make up for it by at least having the labels of where the second layer of functions are. Another thing to mention is that I couldn't flip the spacebar with this keycap set, so I just had to use it normally. Anyways, with all that being said, let's move on to the typing test. Overall, I think this keyboard is alright. There can definitely be some improvements within the keycaps and the stabilizers, but otherwise I think this is a totally fine keyboard. Would I recommend this keyboard? I definitely would for those who want to try out a 60%. I personally would use this keyboard for traveling due to how small the keyboard is and how it has Bluetooth functionality. The pros of this keyboard include having Bluetooth compatibility, being perfect for traveling, and that it's a plug and play keyboard. There is software for this keyboard, but it's not necessary, and everything is already on the keyboard itself. The cons of the keyboard are the placement of the question mark, the spacebar stabilizer still rattles even with the preloop, and the switches are pretty scratchy out of the box. I say that my suggestions to make this a stronger keyboard is to include hot swap, as that is a huge selling point for cheaper keyboards, and to maybe change the keycaps to look more sleek. I've also noticed that the keyboard has now gone up from around $30-ish to $50. To me, if this keyboard had hot swap, I would definitely justify paying more than $50 for this keyboard. Regardless of any negative points I brought up for this keyboard review, I didn't really have any huge problems with the keyboard myself. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for a potential modding video of this keyboard. Like and subscribe if you like it, dislike if you didn't like it, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. See you later.